It's 9 o'clock. It's time to knit. Welcome to the Knit-a-thon. This is our fundraiser for the American Cancer Society. We're doing daily knitting with the items that you sponsor. When you donate to the American Cancer Society for my fundraiser, you also sponsor a project for me to knit. We've been crafting for a cause. It's been 26 days. This is our final week. We're coming up on the final stretch of our knit-a-thon. And I'm excited and sad at the same time. I'm excited because we're one step closer to delivering the donations to cancer patients that are going through chemo. All these items are cozy comfort items for patients going through chemotherapy. And I'm sad because I enjoy the daily knitting. Initially, I was a bit like, I don't know if I want to come on every day and knit in front of people on a new machine that I've hardly used and have errors. But we've done that and we've had errors and we've fixed them. All is still right with the world. So I say that to say if you're hesitant about a challenge that you're facing, jump, do it anyway. Do follow your passion, follow your purpose, and everything will fall into place. There will be some bumps in the road, but if you continue to pursue and be intentional with your purpose, making sure that you're on the right purpose and passion that you're supposed to be on, it will all work out. And it has worked out for us because this fundraiser has met and exceeded three goals. The sponsors are amazing. We've reached over $900 on our fundraiser. That is absolutely amazing. I'm so excited about that. And we're knitting another project today from a wonderful sponsor. Our project today is sponsored by Kelly. Thank you, Kelly, for sponsoring today's project. We're actually knitting a cozy chemo beanie, and I want to show you what we're using. We're using Big Twist in the cotton candy color. That's not focusing, but this is Big Twist cotton candy. And since this is our final week, we're having fun with fur. We're going to use this Buvimo. Not sure if I'm saying that right. And it's called eyelash because this has all these long, fun fibers on here. Now, this is a risk we're taking, but we have to step out on faith this week and try something different. We did Fun Fur yesterday, had several issues with the project that we had to correct, but we were able to fix it. So all is well. We have, of course, our pink palm, our pink tag, and a button that we will use to attach the pom pom to make it detachable. So I'm going to go ahead and get started by casting on the pink color, the cotton candy color that we're using. Putting my machine back to the starting point, which is this first black pin. And we're going to cast on by weaving in front and behind each pin as I slowly crank the machine to turn in a circle. Once we go all the way around from beginning to end, that is a row. That is one row. This machine has 46 pins. So 46 pins equals a row on this machine. So I've made it all the way back around and I'm adding the yarn into my Golden Gate Bridge, which is this gold yarn feeder. And I'm going to give myself a bit of slack. So with the fun fur that we're using today, I'm going to just do a 140 row beanie On the first 70 rows, which is the exterior of the beanie, I'm going to go down about knitting, about 15 rows. I'm going to knit 15 rows with this cotton candy. And then I'm going to switch over to the fun fur and knit about 6 rows. And we're going to go from there. We're making it up as we go along. But the goal is to have a fun fur row or bunch at the top and then a fun fur row on the brim once it's flipped up. So let me set my counter back to 0. And then we're able to do our first 15, 15 rows on here. I want to make sure that my tension is adjusted. Everything looks to be going okay so far. I'm keeping my eye on potential drop stitches. I'll really need to pay attention when I do the yarn change to the fun fur. But I love to watch the project as it grows, as it gets larger. And I'm going to pull you into the project so that you can see the whole thing. We have a cotton candy infinity scarf that we created last week. So this cozy chemo beanie is going to complement that one because it's the same color. So we're at row 10, going to row 15 before we add that fur. This is row 14. Now coming up to row 15. And this is our first color change. So I want to create kind of a longer tail on here just to make sure that it catches. I'm going to go slow to make sure that it catches. And it did. Thank you. And we're going to do, actually, I have this strung up on my dream box just to hold it because there's a lot that I pulled out. So we're going to do, I believe, 6 rows. Just taking it slow. Making sure that this fun fur is getting underneath the pins here. I don't know if that shows up in the video, but it looks so cute. So I'm giving myself some more slack. We're going to row 21 with this fun fur that we've added on the cotton candy color. So that was 20. Going around one more time before we change back to the cotton candy. So taking off that fun fur and going back to cotton candy, big twist. And once again, I'm going to hold both of these and be very careful just to make sure that it catches. And it did. Yay. So now we're going to go ahead and knit to 70 because this is just a pop of the fun fur at the top of the brim. And then we're going to do another pop of the fun fur on the actual brim where we fold it up. I think you can start to see that color come out as it grows out. I mean, you can see the difference in the video. I could definitely see the difference. Just not sure how it shows up on video. But now we're going to 70. I'm just going to go ahead and tie off my color changes now. The first tie is kind of loose. The next two are tighter. Saves us the step from having to tie it at the end. These two are tighter. And then I'm also going to cut it. There. Keep going. Good morning, Kelly. Thank you for joining us. We're working on your cotton candy cozy chemo beanie. Say that fast 3 times. Thank you. I like the way this looks on the inside. Usually on the inside, it shows up a lot better or more prominent than it does on the outside. But I think it's actually showing up good on the outside as well. Just have to be careful with that fun fur with those really thin fibers because yesterday when we were using it, we had some drop stitches that we had to fix. It really does look like cotton candy, especially with these fibers coming up. Like, you know how they take the little paper roll and roll it around in the machine as it's spinning the cotton candy? That is what it looks like. Going to on row 35, going to row 70. So we're halfway there. I'm going to have to think of another project or reason to come on and do a live during the week because this has been fun. I'll just have to figure out what I will be creating. Can't create Christmas projects live because then my family has the potential to see them. So maybe I'll have to create something else. More beanies. Or my hoodie project. I really, really, really want to create a hoodie on the Addy machine, on this machine. I want to do a red hoodie. So maybe we'll just journey through that together because I've definitely never done it before, but it's something that I think would be cool to make. Knitted hoodie with a zipper. I want to have a zipper all the way from the top to the bottom. So we're at row 54. We're going to 70 because that's this first side. The part of the beanie that we're knitting right now, these rows around 60 to 70, that's the part that's typically covered when you flip the brim. So I noticed between 65 and 70 is when the project hits the table, and then we have to roll it up. We're at 70. So this is 70. I'm just going to roll it up. So see, it gives a little pop of fun fur. That's cute. A nice monochromatic change. So the next 20 rows is going to be the flip up. So I'm going to go 7 rows or 6 rows into the flip up and then do 7 rows. And then after that, it's going to be all pink. So I'm going to do 6 more rows. This way the brim should have a row of fur toward in the middle of it. That was 74, 75. This is our last pink before we change. Okay, now give myself enough tail. And hold both of them. Go slowly. Make sure it catches. Yes, it did. Hallelujah. So now I'm going to do 6 7 rows of this. Going ever so carefully. One. Okay, now I think we're on track. That's 2. And this is the 7th row. This will be the last one. I'm going to take this off very carefully. Switch back to our cotton candy and hold both of them, making sure it catches. So we're done with the fun fur. Now we're just going to finish it all off with the cotton candy. Up to 140. Like we did before, I'm going to go ahead and tie my ends now. This is the only other place where we're going to have yarn change. Can you believe we have 4 more days? Only 4 more days. Actually, it's really 3 more days. 3 more days of knitting. Because on the last day, we're going to have a prize drawing and a surprise for our sponsors. Celebrating our sponsors on the last day, on the 30th. Will I be knitting on Thanksgiving? Yes, I'm going to be here only for an hour. I think this one's going to be very, very pretty. This is where we are in our calendar for November. All of these amazing projects have been sponsored by our incredible sponsors. I'm overwhelmed with excitement And as you can see today, we're working on this cotton candy cozy chemo beanie sponsored by Kelly. And then for the rest of the week, we're going to be working on projects sponsored by Dina, two bookmarkers, and another cozy chemo beanie. That beanie is going to be red because we have a red scarf that was sponsored last week. So we're going to make the coordinating beanie for that one. And this cotton candy, of course, coordinates with another scarf that we made last week. The flowers that we're going to create will probably, well, one will definitely be a rose. I may do one rose and one more carnation. Or two roses. Not sure. So this is our project calendar for November. And this is actually our overflow tracker where all the overflow items are completed offline, but they're shown live. We have a few days left. We still have several spaces left. If you are interested in donating and sponsoring an item to go to a cancer patient going through chemo, I encourage you to donate to this knit-a-thon so that we can create more items. There's still time. I'm definitely still committed to knitting everything and completing it all by the 30th so that we can have everything done and ready to donate to the hospital in December. Actually, I need to call her back and schedule a donation time, donation date and time. The items are being donated to my local hospital. And if you are curious, here are the items that you can actually sponsor. This cozy chemo beanie that we're working on now, a cozy chemo scarf, or the bookmarker that we're working on tomorrow. Every item that we create, it has this tag that has a special message for the recipient, just letting them know that you sponsored this item that they have, and this special note from them, just letting them know that they are not alone, which I think is also important. We're at row 135. 138. A few more rows to go. Actually, one more row to go. This is actually I need to go. Yeah. So I'm going to measure my yarn. This is what we have left. The big hole in the big twist. I'm going to actually knit this last stitch here. Ooh, shame on me for having that open when I was turning the crank. That's a big no-no. So you don't want to break your pins. That was a loud pop. I'm glad it's still attached. So now we're just going through one at a time, removing each stitch from the 46 pins. So if you're a sponsor and you're watching this, there's a surprise on the very last day of the prize drawing. Would you like to know what that surprise is now, or do you want to wait? In other words, I want to tell you, but I'll wait and not spoil a surprise. Wait or don't wait. Which will it be? I still haven't found my red Addy Express darning needle. Well, to be fair, I didn't look, but I haven't saw it. I haven't seen it just in cleaning up yarn. Yesterday at this time, we were fixing holes, fixing stitches. Today's fun fur was so much more cooperative, and I was so much more diligent in making sure that none of those stitches dropped. So fun fur can be used on your projects. Just have to be intentional when you're adding and changing the yarn from one to the other. I did not do any of the jogless joins in here because with this yarn, I don't think you can really tell. Especially since it's the same color or very close color. Close color match. But it's fun fur, so there can be a bit of an overlap. This stitch gets stretched. our little flower has blossomed. Okay, so now I'm going to move the machine. Like construction. This is what we're doing, taking off these brackets. Okay, so I'm going to give you a full view of what we're doing. After I wipe off the table from our tread marks. So take this off. We can just go straight to the correct side because we've already tied off our connections. So we're going to stretch it this way, stretch it this way, and actually, and we're going to pull our string. And distribute the stitches. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. Do our drawstring, just the stitches. Okay, so this is the front or the external of our hat, and this is the inside, and this should be the flip up brim. So I'm going to pull it through. Match up those ends. This end, the internal tail and the external tail. Just going to match up those edges so that I can grip them, and then put my hand in on the inside and flatten out the inside layer. So I'm going to first take this internal tail, and we're going to just do the drawstring method, the quick cinch, and I'm pulling it closed, just making sure it's evenly distributed. It's going to look like a little star or a kiss when it's tight. I'm going to keep that internal tail on the outside, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the external tail. Cinch it up. Make sure they're distributed evenly. There's no bunching. That looks like a star. And then we're going to finish the cinching so that it closes. And then I'm going to pull both strings together and cut off a lot of the excess. And the first thing we're going to do is tie a knot. I think this closure is definitely best if you're not going to add a pom-pom because it creates a much tighter hole. When we seam up the two ends together, it's a beautiful edge, but the hole isn't quite as tight. But when you seam up the edges and you're adding a palm on the top, that's okay because that palm, blocks the air. Um, but we haven't done many of this type of closure, so I wanted to show this as well. So now I'm going to add the button so we can make it a removable pom-pom. Good morning, Pam. Thank you for tuning in with us on our final week of this knit-a-thon. This is the last Tuesday that we are knitting. This cotton candy beanie is sponsored by Kelly. So after I add the button, I'm just going to do a tie. On here, I'm not doing a knot, just a tie and then a bow. But I am going to do a double bow and cut off a little bit more of the excess. Then I'm going to go in with my crochet hook. Pam's been at the car dealership since 7, getting oil change and tire rotation. Ah, yeah, sometimes it can take a long time at the dealership. Looking on the inside here, just wanting to make it came through. Wanting to make sure that the crochet hook is going through both holes. And it definitely did because it came straight through. We're going to add our palm. These palms have elastic on them. This elastic stretch, which is great. So that way I can hook it with the crochet hook and pull it through and just put my finger in this elastic and wrap it around the button. Then I can pull my little bow through. And there we go. So this secures our pom-pom, and we can also take it off if we so choose. So this is the inside. Let's turn it around to the outside. So here's our external with the little pop of fun fur at the top. And then if we fold up the brim, we have more fun fur. How cute is that? This looks like cotton candy. Okay, so let's put on our tag. We're just using the same color yarn to add the tag from this excess that we just cut off. Using my darning needle. Just going to go through a couple of times. And then this second time that I go through, I'm going to weave it in between these layers. Since the entire cap is double walled, so I can just weave this inside and then stretch it to make sure it's not puckered, and then cut off this excess. And this back tail, I'm going to do the same. Just put this through. And inside the double lined wall, it through, stretching, cutting off that excess. Look how cute. Kelly, I agree. It's so cute. So cute. Let's turn it this way so you can see the tag. Okay, so now let's add our sponsor tag. I'm going to put it up here. I'm going to try to put it up here. So I just want to add this through the project itself, but I'm not going to tie a knot because I don't want it to be hard to take off. Just weaving it through each side and tying a bow. Thank you, Pam. I think it's cute. Definitely, definitely fun. So this project is sponsored by Kelly. Thank you, Kelly, for sponsoring this cozy chemo beanie in the cotton candy color. And we have a coordinating scarf. Let me show you. This coordinating cotton candy scarf was sponsored by Laura. So they go together. So cute. So cute. I love the fun fur. Fun fur is fun. If you take your time and don't get uh, any drop stitches or anything like that. But I think this turned out so cute. Thank you. Thank you, Kelly. I love it too. Bim says, thank you, Kelly. Yes, thank you, Kelly, for sponsoring this item. Hi, Zena. Thank you for joining us. You are bringing it home for us, Zena. We're working on your projects for the rest of the week, and I'm excited to create them. Thank you for joining us. Another amazing sponsor. I'm so excited. The sponsors are so cool. We have had an amazing fundraiser journey. Let me just share with you this visual. Cool. I love it. I can watch that video over and over. And it's because of you, because of the sponsors, because of your generosity in supporting the American Cancer Society specifically. Your donation goes directly to the American Cancer Society, but also for sponsoring a project to go to an individual going through chemo. I think this is amazing and it's important to me. It's a passion for me. I sat with my mom while she was going through chemo and wanting her to be cozy because she's always looking for a blanket or a hat or something. So I used to actually create items for her while she's sitting there, while we're both sitting there. So that's why this is a passion to me. I know the cozy comfort items go a long way and they're very much appreciated. Yes, that fundraiser progress is so cool to watch. I think it's amazing too. Zena says, "Thank you for your creativity and talent. Such a wonderful way to donate." Oh, thank you. It's definitely a passion of mine. The two just mesh together. The craftiness of creating these items and the mission, the American Cancer Society, and supporting um, research, education, all the things, and then specifically individuals that we're supporting by um, donating these items. So I thank you, all the sponsors, for donating to this as well. And so I'm even more excited that it's coming to an end because that's a step closer to getting these items delivered to the recipients. But also sad because I love coming on here and creating live with everyone. The sponsors have been so amazing. We're going to do a prize drawing on the very last day on the 30th. So we won't be knitting anything on the last day. We're just going to be celebrating the sponsors on the last day. So there's going to be a prize drawing, and there's also going to be another surprise that I can tell you about now or I can tell you about later. If you're not familiar with the prize drawing, let me just share with you a little bit more about that. Hey, sponsors, donators. I don't know if you know, but you are going to be entered into a prize drawing. It's a raffle for your donations. And if you haven't sponsored or donated yet, you still have time to enter into the raffle if you are listening to this in between November 1st and November 30th. You still have time to enter into this raffle. How do you enter? By donating to the American Cancer Society and sponsoring a knitting item. I am raffling off 3 items, 3 winners. Thanks to Sherry, there's going to be 3 winners. Yay, Sherry. So I'm raffling off my positive affirmation. This is a blank notebook that you can use for journaling or however you want to use it. Grocery list, thought list, brainstorming, whatever you need, right? This is my positive affirmation 90-day prompt journal. This is intentional. There's also a bookmarker in here, which is a card. But this takes you through 90 days of affirmations and 90 days of journaling and 90 days of scriptures associated with your daily affirmation. And it focuses on self-confidence. So 90 days to unleash self-confidence. This is my first volume of my positive affirmation series, first of 4 volumes. And also this positive affirmation zipper pouch. What can you use it for? Whatever you want. It's a big sized zipper pouch. I guess this is about, it's close to the size of 8.5 by 11, but that's not the exact size. I don't know what the size is, but you have this to store all the things that you want to store in there. 3 winners to win one of these items. So if you've not donated or sponsored today, what are you waiting for? Yes, you definitely still have time. And I want to share also the three winners that will win the prize drawing will also have a bonus prize. A bonus prize. You heard it here first. You will be able to select an item for yourself. If you'd like to have a cozy chemo beanie created by me for you, or a cozy camo scarf created by me for you, or if you want a bookmarker flower, I don't have it here with me. You get your choice of those three and your color choice as well. So I'm excited about that. I just want to spoil the sponsors because they've been amazing, absolutely amazing. And Pam, if you are still watching, I want to share with you and show you this hot pink scarf here. You were asking on one of the other videos to show what that drop stitch looked like after the project. So this was the project that I was working on when I showed that drop stitch video. And here is actually, because this is the beginning of the project. I was probably about this much into the project when that happened, or when I noticed it. So this area right here is actually where the drop stitch was. And if I stretch it a little bit, you'll be able to see the difference because the stitches are a bit wider. But, afterwards I've been able to kind of adjust it and scooch the stitches over to where now, after they're picked up, you can't really tell the difference. But if you stretch it, you can see which part comes loose apart the most. But after you pick up the stitches, it looks like normal. But that was a great question. Thank you for uh, asking that. Oh, good. I'm glad you were still watching to see that. Um, this is the drop stitch from the video that I made earlier. Right. You can't really tell, definitely at a glance. When you stretch it, you can tell a little bit, but I think it blends in nicely afterwards. But that was a great question. Thank you for asking that. Yes, good luck to all the winners, all three winners um, in the prize drawing. Are going to get bonus items, an item of their choice. So I'm excited about that as well. Until tomorrow, we will be back tomorrow for another day of knitting. This is our final week. If you are interested in joining in with the sponsors, donate today while you still have time. You still have time. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.